You're listening to Ask the Expert DSO Edition with Valerie Dangler, brought to you in part by Sonicare, a leader in supporting DSOs and private practices alike. Stay tuned after the episode for a very special message. All right, everyone, welcome into this month's Fast Facts Ask the Expert DSO Edition. I'm joined again by Val. Val, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, hey, Andrew. It's so great to be back. Thanks for having me back.
All right, so this month is, and I always forget what the official title of this is, but I think it's Children Oral Health Awareness Month. And so I wanted to do a question that I heard a lot when I was really working in the DSO space, that people were scared of working with children, right? Like you kind of have, as a hygienist, your comfort zone, right? Like I like working geriatrics, I work in perio, I work in all these different things. And one of the concerns that I'd heard was, look, if I go work for a DSO, I have to treat kids. And so I want to pose that question to you as our expert for this episode. Will I have to treat kids if I work at a DSO?
Well, gosh, that's like, do I have to treat kids if I work in dentistry, right? I think it really depends. I mean, there are specific DSOs that are specialty. There are orthodontics, there's oral surgery, and of course there's pedo. And so if you choose to go work in a pedo, of course you're going to see kids. Now, a general dental, a lot of our DSOs, a majority of the DSOs out there are general practice, although the specialty DSOs are branching into the marketplace. But in a general practice, I think it depends on where you're located. I know when I was a baby hygienist and I started in a community, it was a general practice, but we were in a community with older population, right? So my youngest patient could have been 55 and I had patients that were 101, right? So I didn't see many kids. And I think that's what really built me into a strong perio hygienist. As you say, we label ourselves. But I got hygienists that love pediatrics. And so I would encourage them, go find a DSO that specializes in pediatrics. If you don't want to do it, a family practice, you're going to see kids. If you don't see them all, that's great. I think it's going to depend. It's just going to be dependent on who you select.
I think one, I kind of wonder, I know you've heard this before, but I wonder if it's because like whoever asked this question really just does not want to do sealants ever. Like I think they're just so scared to death of sealants. They're like, please don't see kids.
And that is funny you say that because, I worked in this space where I worked in pediatric DSOs and I do have hygienists that don't want to do sealants.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, but it's one of those things too, though. You think about it, like let's go back to school. I always say like, let's bring it back to school. What did we have to do on all those patients that came in? If there was unprotected fissures, we sealed them. It was a part of the treatment plan. Yet we go out into the real world and we forget what we learned in school sometimes.
I know, it's so ridiculous. I think the overall message, and correct me if I'm mishearing you, but is look, just because it's a DSO, it's not probably really all that much different than any other practice that you could come upon, whether it's going to be private practice specialty or private practice general dentistry. It's kind of all the same just because they're a DSO. It's not like it's
just they're grouped together to have those management services to help with all the things that are non-clinical. And so the clinical piece, I don't think changes, Andrew.
I love it. Well, thank you for being here. If someone wanted to reach out to you, how might they contact you?
Sure. Valdentsolutions@gmail.com. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you for listening to Ask the Expert with Valerie Dangler. Sonicare supported this episode, and they are here to support you as well. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I have linked a website in the show notes of this episode that will give you access to all of the patient support materials Sonicare has to offer. Sometimes it's hard to know where to start with our patients. Let them help. Simply click on the episode title, access the show notes, and click on the link courtesy of our friends at Sonicare. Have a great week, everybody.